play call to Lane?
East Texas. Some of those gadgety ones you don't try to name everything because it's hard to name it all. So you kind of come up with a specialized name, and Lane's from East Texas, and that's what we called it.
He said it was a play that he had been talking about during the game. Lane, did you hear that, and did you go with that?
I'm sorry. Say that one more time.
Devontae said that Lane had been talking about being open or running that play throughout the game. Is that true?
Well, Lane wasn't eligible until that very play, so Lane couldn't have been open. I don't know. I don't know what Devontae's thinking right there. We had a lot of confidence in the play because of the way we practiced this week, and just confidence in Lane. Lane's a phenomenal football player. I don't agree that he's not in the Pro Bowl. I think that you got a chance to have a guy who's going to be a first or second team All-Pro and not in the Pro Bowl. And so it was great to be able to get him a touchdown. He just deserves so much credit, so much more credit than he's getting. This guy is just. I've never been around an offensive tackle that is as talented as this guy is. Like, he could play tight end if he wanted. You should see him throw the football. This guy is so immensely talented. I just got so much respect for him. And it was nice. It's always great when you can reward guys that don't get in the end zone with a touchdown like that. And so I think it was his first touchdown since high school. I'm sure he scored a lot of them in high school because the guy's just a stud, and just so happy that he's anchoring our offensive line, and look forward to the accolades that he's going to get because he deserves them.
Nick, how long have you been repping that play? Has that been in for a while, or is it?
That's not a play that can be in each week. We've had it in the plan before. When it fits. Again, it doesn't fit against every team and every system, so. It's been in the plan before, so we've had reps of it, but it hasn't been in a couple weeks. So again, just a great job by our coaches and our players. The detail of how the coaches installed the play, and then obviously the detail of the way the players executed the play. Being able to accomplish that in a short week.
Do you feel like the short turnaround in your absence this week affected?
I don't. You know what? Our defense played an outstanding game. We all know that, how they came out and they were hitting them right from the beginning. Obviously, you never want to start a game on special teams by putting the ball on the ground right to start. JJ was there to get the fumble recovery, but you don't want to do that. We definitely weren't executing the way we need to execute. But I got so much respect for that defensive coordinator and that defense that we just played today. I think that's a really, really outstanding defense. That's a great defensive line. Coach Graham, I think, is just a really good coordinator that I've had a lot of respect for a lot of years now. So, again, you got to say, anytime you start off that way and you only score 3 points in the first half, it's always going to be, we didn't coach well enough for sure. We didn't play well enough. But hats off to them because that's a good defense. So it's a combination of all three. But I don't put anything into the short week. This team's handled adversity all year, through different things, and that's just what you have to do in the NFL. You have to handle adversity, and because it rarely is going to go the way you think it's going to go, just perfectly smooth the whole time. And our teams handle adversity, and I think that has a lot to do with who our leaders are on this team and our captains. With Jason Kelsey and Fletcher Cox and Rodney McLeod, Jalen Hurts, Alex Singleton, Brandon Graham. Those guys lead the way, and so just a lot of credit to our leaders on this team.
The offense scored 24 straight points coming out of halftime. What was said to the offense and the team when you guys were back in the locker room?
Just that, hey, good teams win games however they need to win games. If we have to grind this out and be grimy and let the defense carry the way the whole time, we'll do it that way. But, hey, just have that next play mentality of forget the first half and have that next play mentality and come out and ready to go. And they definitely did a good job of coming out and forgetting that. They did exactly that. They forgot the first half and they executed in the second half.
Nick, from your perspective, why was Jalen so much better in the second half than he was in the first half?
Again, it was just, I think that's a combination of just how our entire offense played. He definitely missed some throws in the first half that he's going to want back, and I thought he went to the right place with the ball. I know there's a question about, Bob prepped me for a question about a red zone play that we threw to Quez over the middle. Guys, when there's guys breaking this way and breaking that way, you have to alert a certain player, which I'll just try to explain to you as much as I possibly can without giving anything away. You alert a certain player, and then your read starts somewhere else. So our alert was to Dallas versus a certain coverage. It wasn't that coverage, so now, we read shallow to angle, and that's what he read. So his eyes aren't there. So I'm not one bit concerned. Like, when you give a quarterback and you say to him, when you know their reads as a coach, you don't ever get on him when he misses something like that, because it's not a miss. His eyes went here to here, and Dallas is only a pre-snap read. We don't know. Jalen doesn't know that they're going to they busted the coverage. Jalen doesn't know at the beginning of that play that they're going to bust that coverage. Like, they made a mistake. They were out of position on that particular play, and that was the read. And so I want to make sure that everybody understands that. And so, again, he didn't play his best first half, and when he plays good, the offense rolls. And he did a just great job bouncing back that second half. And again, it's just not Evan Jalen. We didn't play good in the skill positions. We didn't play as good as we played on the offense line. We didn't coach as good as we needed to coach in that first half. So, but again, just a credit to Jalen to rebound and play a good second half, because that's what good teams do. They find ways to win.
He did not run much today. Nick?
If the season ended today, you guys would be in the playoffs. Obviously, it doesn't. You guys a couple games ago, but what does that say about how far you guys have come? I mean, especially after the start, and it's pretty remarkable, no?
Yeah, I think again, it just speaks to the leaders that we have in this team, and the fact that we knew adversity is going to come. That's just the way this league is. Adversity hits, whether it's a 2-5 start, whether it's a postponement of a game and having to play 2 games, play a game off a 13-day rest or whatever it was, and then play a game off 5. I mean, that's what happens in this league. So you try to prepare yourself for adversity and be able to handle it. And that's the whole message that we've talked about from the beginning of just dog mentality, next play, next play, next play. Jason Kelsey gave a message to the team last night, which was awesome, and his message was press on. Bad things happen, press on. Press on, press on, press on. He was awesome talking to the team last night. He's just such a great leader. And so it all comes back to the types of guys that we have in that locker room. A ton of credit, obviously, to Howie and his staff of how they've assembled this team. I said to Howie in there, Howie said, great job coming back from a 2-5 start. I said, Howie, great job. Like, what other first-year head coaches are in the position I'm in? We have a great offense and defensive line. Usually, when there's a new head coach, it's because the offense and defensive line aren't any good. And so it's just been a great team effort, a great organization that we're a part of. And then it always comes down to these players and the type of leaders that we have.
Couple more, please. The Kelsey thing, actually, is that abnormal, or do you have somebody address the team every week?
Well, it's been 12 weeks. 1 through 12 week, I addressed them. They were probably tired of hearing my voice, so I changed it up, and that's something I've done in the past. I've been on teams that have done that in the past. Frank's done that. Let your captains hear, talk at the end of the year and get the guys ready to go on the Saturday night. I've always had good experience with that.
How big was the interception by Rodney McLeod? You guys had that pick, set up a score. You had a pick 6 later in the game, iced the game. I mean, all praise to Jalen and the receivers in the second half, but your defense won this game for you.
They played incredible. There's no doubt. The defense kept the game a game when it wasn't going well, right? And huge play by Rodney. Unbelievable rush by Jannard Avery just to get pressure on the quarterback in the game that they played up front. And so you get that pressure, he sails the ball high, and Ronnie gets a big play. And it was 3-3 at that time, I believe, right? And that was their first drive of the second half. I mean, that was everything, right? I mean, you end up going up 7. The defense feels like that they're not going to get any more points, and we're like, we're up 7. We ain't freaking losing this game because the way our defense is playing, and our defense knew that. And so, obviously, they played unbelievable. It was just, again, it was the whole game of the pressure, how good they were in the run game, how good we were, covering and taking away some of the dink and dunks. Because that wind was blowing a little bit more than I think people realize out there today. It didn't look bad like in certain spots, but you see the flags up at the top. They were humming, and so just a great job by our defense. And then the pick 6, obviously that was huge. It put the game out of reach. We were able to take some guys out after that, and again, it always starts up front, and just a great job by our defensive line, and then trickled down to everybody.
Our last touchdown, what was your vantage point on Devontae's touchdown? And it seemed like a strange review. It seemed really clear what was happening there.
Yeah, I think there might have been, I don't know exactly, but I thought it was a touchdown that they were reviewing. and basically something happened. It might have went to a TV commercial. I don't know exactly what happened, but they came back, and the time when I thought they were reviewing it, whatever was happening, and then they decided to review it, and yeah, hey, I'm just glad it counted. I don't know. It felt like a long time. We had to wait for it, but I thought the refs did a good job, and they were communicating with us the entire game. Again, their job's never easy, and I value what they do out there.
What about the catch itself?
Oh yeah, just Devontae's been really good on the back line and on the sideline all year, and that's something you got to learn, right? Because you only have to have one in college, right? And so he's just been really good and clean with his footwork on the sideline for his first year. I mean, he's a technician, and it's just not. And the guy loves football and wants to be better at football. And we know that a guy can go from here to here because of the technique he plays with. And so Devontae works endless hours to do that. And again, he had the catch like that last week where he dragged the foot from behind. So great job to Aaron Moorhead of drilling that as well. I know he drills that every single day. And then Devontae obviously playing with great technique.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.